Hi there, it's Jen from modernmedicinelady.com and the Empathic Woman System, and the word of the day is complaint. So I'm not going to get into all the details because it's not necessarily relevant, but I've been participating in a couple threads online where people have been talking about pointing out the problems with something and complaining about things. And while the topic doesn't really matter, what I was thinking about is the nature of complaints and the effectiveness of complaints and whether they actually work. And I was thinking that in many ways, when we focus on solutions, when we focus on the request instead of the complaint, it seems to be much more able to create sustainable and lasting change than focusing on the negativity. I mean, from the standpoint of law of attraction and wherever you focus your attention is what you amplify, it totally makes sense that if we focus on what's wrong with something, we're going to continue to reinforce what is wrong, as opposed to focusing on what could be different and what could be right about something and talking about the solutions and making requests. So, as I've been sitting with this and thinking about it, what I've been realizing is that in my own life, there are certain places where I will still default to complaint instead of request. And that whenever I do default to complaint, what ends up happening is that it becomes this perpetual challenge and power struggle that just will not die down. And I will give you an example, which is that my husband and I have had this ongoing struggle about dishes because neither of us like dealing with the dishes. It's probably the thing that both of us like the least to deal with. And both of us end up feeling really frustrated because we end up having them to deal with. And I will admit that I will complain about it, that I'll see a sink full of dishes and then I will just be like really frustrated and I will start complaining. Now, I will also say that I'm going to have been married for 16 years in September, and I've been with him for 17 and a half years now. So it's not like this is a brand new thing. And I will tell you, we've had a bunch of conversations about dishes over the years where we've tried to find some kind of a solution. But the thing is that I have never ever stopped focusing on what I'm not liking about it as opposed to focusing on what I would like instead. So more often than not, if I see dishes in the sink, I'm going to complain that there are dishes in the sink and I'm going to point it out as opposed to just saying, you know, I am really tired. I would be so grateful if you would help me load the dishwasher tonight. Instead of you didn't load the dishwasher or there's a sink full of dishes and it's a problem. And while there have been times where I can basically complain loud enough and be frustrated enough that he acquiesces and he just sort of begrudgingly deals with it, most of the time it just makes me feel more frustrated, makes him feel more frustrated, and it doesn't accomplish my goal. It doesn't make things better. And even if the situation does get addressed temporarily, I still feel emotionally crappy because I'm in this negative place. So, what I have realized for myself, and I'm realizing I need to continue to work even further on, is that instead of focusing on the negative and instead of focusing on the complaint, when I notice something that's not working for me, what I need to do is ask myself the question, what would I like instead? And then instead of saying, hey, the dishes are in the sink, and I'm pissed about it, to basically be able to say, you know what, I would love it if you would, or whatever the request is, but to think about the solution and the request and turn a complaint into an ask instead of this sort of unconscious request. Because ultimately, I believe that complaints are unconscious requests, that complaints are about not knowing how to say, I need this, I want this, would you be willing to do this, would you please? And instead, by complaining, somehow they're going to figure out what we want and go ahead and do it. But maybe you have people who are better mind readers than I do, but in my experience, it never really works to complain. The best way to get what I need and want is to ask for it. So my question to you right now is, do you find yourself noticing things that aren't working in your life, and do you complain about them? Do you use complaint as a way to get your needs met, and how's that working for you? And what would it be like to ask yourself, what do I need instead? And what would it be like to ask for what you need instead of focusing on the thing that is not working and talking about that? So I would love to hear what you have to say about all of this. Please leave a comment below. And until next word of the day, I'm wishing you peace, I'm wishing you ease, and I am wishing you the ability to ask for what you need instead of focusing on the problem. So in the meantime, please go subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jennifer Moore, Modern Medicine Lady. And I'm going to ask for something right now, which is please help me get this video out into the world. Please like it, please share it, and please pass it along to other people who would find it useful. Thank you so much, and until tomorrow, peace.